Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland and welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday, November 11th, and I recently, as in yesterday, got the delivery of a Yamaha Pacifica Standard Plus. And I did pay for this with my own money, but I want to review it. And as with anything, you do always have the option to return an item if you feel it is not up to snuff. So we will take a look at the guitar today in a special color, which I have right over here. I'm going to leave my jacket on for a bit because it is stinking cold here in Middle Tennessee. I'm not sure where you guys are from, but it is really cold. And we already have Francis DiMarzio here saying, "What's up, Doc?" And I'm like, well, I'm not quite sure what's up. Not just yet. Make this a little bit bigger. All right, so let me know where you're from and what kind of gear that you like to use. Today, we might mainly just be talking about guitars. I did recently do some string changes on an Eastman T59V that I have. And also, I worked on my brother's guitar, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to have a border on. I do like the red on the outside. No, that's kind of neat. I like the red shadows stuff. It's pretty cool. Oh no, and I just got rid of myself. I just got rid of myself. No, I'm back slightly. Let's choose a. That was a bad idea. I'm sorry for doing that. Wow, I got issues. I got big time issues. All right, hold on. Let me fix my mistake here. I don't know what just happened. This is the Logitech webcam. Richard Kaplan, good to see you, my friend. Let me get this out of the way. I have moved from podia.com to payhip.com. And I have sent out an email to everybody who has purchased a product. Now, if it's deep in your email list or if it's deep in a spam folder, that's fine. I just need you to go to my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com, click on contact, and then write me a note saying, hey, I didn't get the email and I need access to my products. Please. So if you do that, I will gladly give you the coupon code so you can add that product to your cart, and then you can make a new, basically a new login with your username and a password, and you will now have access once again to your precious and beloved products that you have purchased from me. And I really do appreciate everyone who has done that in the past. Just want to get that out of the way. So let me click on here. I'm going to change my view to this one. All right, there we go. That looks really bad, but I'm not sure what the issue is here. I used to be right in the center. Maybe I should be in the center. Oh, like that. Yeah, all right. Sorry about the weirdness there. Sorry about the weirdness. All right, I'm back slightly. I'll fix it later. Never Not Whammy. The dude on the TMP, how do I get a more in-your-face percussive strike with a reverb? I'm using the deluxe and it's different than with the real amp. I hear the reverb but don't get the thump. That's interesting. I'll be plugging into a TMP here very soon. Just here in a second, so I'll definitely I can look at that. Let me bring up the Pro Control here so we can see. I currently have a rig with a Princeton reverb, and I guess it depends on if you're using a convolution or any other reverb that you got. I mean, obviously, no digital unit is ever going to be 100% faithful to the original amp or the original pedal. And part of that thump might just be you sitting in the room with the amp, and that's what you're hearing through the speaker like physically giving you that feedback, and maybe just in the digital option you're not getting that. I'm not sure, but it could be all kinds of things. Yes, Francis is from Montreal, Canada. Yeah, the T59V does look really good. I like it. Richard, man, you gotta calm down online. You just gotta calm down. We're all just humans, and we're gonna make it right. We got it. The reverb on the amp and stuff. All right, we'll go ahead and look at the guitar here, and we'll build a new rig with a I guess a deluxe reverb and see what we got. So here is here's the guitar, and it is pink because I like pink and it's fun. And I've had all kinds of colors over the years, but I do actually have a pink sparkle easel guitar, which I like. But yeah, it's just neat having something slightly different. So the inlays here are the same as what you get on the Revstar model, which is more of your Les Paul style looking guitar. But so far, I'm really liking the nice carved armrest right here, which you can see from that angle. You got the nice carve there. You have a nice carve on the back right here, which is really cool. Okay, so it's a good belly cut that fits right up against you. And then we also have, this is pretty interesting, a very well accessed upper fret system. Okay, let me turn it this way. Okay, so you can just get your hand right up in there and get crazy with it. When I first took this out of the box, and it does come with a soft case, which I'll show you here in a sec. They had loosened the strings, not all the way, but pretty loose. So the Goto trim, this is a two-point Goto trim, it was all the way against the body. But if you're familiar with setting up any kind of trim system, once you get the strings under tension and to the standard pitch they should be, then the trim height should even out pretty well. So right now it's I'm not even sure. My small measuring stick is in my room in a bag, and I need to get that because it's good. It's very handy to have, and whatever else. I may change the strings today. Because when I first took this out, I don't know, the strings were feeling a little weird. And just like on the Revstar, some of the frets were a little scratchy. But I think over about 30 minutes of playing last night, I was able to work some of that out. Just kind of, I guess, a natural polishing of the string, just rubbing against the fret and all that. So let me unmute myself. So what's cool about the pickups is they are developed with Rupert Neve. And I mean, so far I don't really, let's test this out here. I mean, I don't hear any noise with these pickups. So they're probably noiseless pickups, which is great. And then also the humbucker is developed with Rupert Neve. So it's just their Yamaha, designed pickups there in conjunction with Rupert Neve. And I think they're good. So far, they're on the bright side, which is perfectly fine because that's what you would expect with a single coil guitar. Okay, here's position 4. Okay, and position 3, which is the just the middle pickup. Position 2. And then position 1. Which naturally is going to give you a slightly more mid-range. That's definitely more like the honkier side. More like maybe 1 to 2K, maybe 800 to 1K, somewhere in there. Which is going to sound really good with overdrive. And then you can pull up on the tone knob, and now that's going to split the coil of the humbucker and give you this sound. Okay, so we got that versus. Okay, so it's not drastic, but it's definitely a tonal shift. So if you're the kind of player that likes a true single coil in the bridge position, then that will get you close enough. I'm not sure if it's a split coil or a coil tap. I have to go back and read the definition of both of those to even know what that is. But I just know it sounds more single coil-ish, even though it's a humbucker. So. And in that 2 position, it does give you a slightly different sound versus. So stuff like that. You just get one tone knob right here. So if you roll it off, it's pretty dark. Richard Kaplan is running a headrush and a flex prime. That's great. Still all great options there. I have dialed in a all revolver rig on the headrush using the headrush prime. And I'm getting some good tones out of it. So I'll definitely be making a video on that probably tonight and then releasing it either tomorrow or Thursday. So, yeah, Francis likes position 4. Yeah. All right, so far, it's just a good all-around guitar. I mean, it feels, especially when it's in the bag, it feels pretty light. I would have to weigh it to see what the actual weight is. That's the thing with ordering from Zounds.com, which I did. And it did, I think I technically ordered it on Friday. It was supposed to come on Saturday, but it got delayed, so I had to wait till Monday, which is perfectly fine. No one's dying over here because I got a guitar late. And it's out of tune slightly here. Let me go ahead and tune it up. I have read and found that it's sometimes best to put the pickup selector on the neck pickup while you're tuning. I think it allows for the tuner to like register the note better or something. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just a myth. I need Mythbusters to figure that out for me. A little flat on everything here. This is a brand new guitar. I haven't stretched the strings on this at all. And let me know if you want to see me change the strings on this. This does have locking tuners on there, so it should be a pretty quick string change. The only thing is I can't see... How do you change the strings on this? Where do they go? Where do they go? I'm baffled by that. What is happening? Oh, hold on. No, that's just the end of the that's just the end of the screw there. All right, I'm gonna have to do some surgery on this and see how in the world you get the string through it, because I don't see the ends of the ball here. All right, I'm gonna do a quick experiment. Let's take this off. So we're taking off the back plate, which I did document the putting back together of my brother's guitar, and it's just small little steps of attaching the neck, attaching the springs on the back. But I'm liking this color. It's not like a hot pink color by any means. It's just a good soft pink, which the Aerosmith likes pink. So pink is their new obsession. Pink is my new obsession. Okay, cool. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not, but okay, here we go. Let's see. Right. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it. But the block here is not the same thickness all the way around. It's kind of what do you call it? It's kind of carved out a bit, and it has grooves for each string that you put through it. So that's actually pretty cool. I've never seen that before, and it kind of threw me off at first, but I guess that means you don't technically have to take the back off. You just have to make sure you stick it in the right hole and then pull it through, and you're good to go. So, okay, cool. I'm liking that. I'm liking that one. So what I'll do is I'll actually put it back on, and then that way I can get the experience of, hey, I've just broken a string on a live show. How quick can I change the string on this thing? And then get it back in tune and get it working and all that. What's happening here? Okay. Yes, let's get this back on. And I'm sorry if this is boring for some people, but we're literally just going live, having fun, talking about gear stuff like guitars, amps, pedals, whatever else. And then, but before I do that, let's go ahead and look at the Toastmaster Pro for Never Not Whammy, and let's figure out if we can get a good thump out of the amp. Okay, how about that? How about that? I do enjoy working on guitars. I'm not a professional by any means, but I can do basic stuff, basic setups and restrings and intonation and whatnot. But I think it's a very relaxing process, and that's what I was doing. I was working on my brother's guitar as I was watching the World Series Game 7. So pretty cool. You can see that the cavity is pretty small there, and so it's interesting that we have a cavity in the back. Yeah, I guess because the pick guard goes up this way, so you have to be able to reach the guts of the guitar through here, which means it's probably all this area here is probably hollowed out, or at least chambered in some way, something like that. So let's see. Is there a way you could do the HTS rigs earlier in the evenings? Yeah, probably. Sometimes I'll do them during this time. But let me know what time zone that you're in, or where you're from and what time zone, and I can make sure to do it before, like, bedtime or something. Does it affect the noiseless single coils too? What, the tone knob? Now, the tone typically will affect everything if it's wired that way, but pulling out the, I don't think pulling out the thing does any different. Now, pulling out the tone knob only affects splitting the coil or coil tapping the bridge, but not anything else. Because this is typically what happens. It's pretty rare unless you have an active guitar, like a Fishman Fluence pickups, to where you can get like 2 different voicings from those pickups. That when you pull out something, then it changes the voicing of all of them. But that's typically how that works. Yeah, I mean, you change the strings on a S-style guitar through the tone block. I know that, but I couldn't see the groove, so it was kind of throwing me off on how all that worked. But we got it figured out now. We definitely got it figured out. Yeah, it is. It's beveled is the name. Thank you. Never not whammy. With the headphones mics, I assume there's 2 cables then. Yes, there's one for the mic and there's one for my headphones. So it's technically one cable, but they're like wired together. Or not wired together, but they're like glued together or something, whatever you call that. Stitched together. That's not it. But yeah, I started using the headphone wire or headphone with a mic because it was just too hard having a mic here, and then when I like turn my head or walk away or something, like you couldn't hear me. And at this point in my life, I just don't care if I look weird or whatever, or if I look like an announcer or a broadcaster. It's just purely for my convenience and making sure you guys can hear me at all times whenever I'm turning to do something over here or turning to turn a knob on a device or whatever. So I got to head out for supper. Cool, man. Thanks for stopping by. South Florida. So you're in Eastern time. So let me know what time you go to bed, Richard. And we'll make sure we're not up too late. All right, let me switch this over to, where's my scene here? The Toolmaster Pro scene. Uh-oh. Let's move that over. All right, so you can see my, this is my Dock Drive Mod effects. I am storing up rigs until I can get a volume 4 released on the Toolmaster Pro presets core or product on my website. So if you like this one, then and you can go back and watch the video that I did on how to do the ultimate switch link for drive and mod effects preset there. So if you like this one, then I'll have that available pretty soon, probably before the end of the month, and then I'll go ahead and release volume 4. And I do that so I don't have to just upload one at a time, and then you have to try to remember, like, now which one did I download, and I don't remember, so I'm just doing it in groups, so it's making it easier. So all right, so right now, what have I done? I currently have a reverb on there. What did I do here? There's also a reverb on there. So let me bypass this reverb. This is the reverb just from the amp. Okay, so maybe you're thinking of like when you strike a string, there's like a certain, like a boinginess. Yeah, something like that. Let me, I think I've warmed up now. Let me take my jacket off. which is the bearskin hoodie, by the way. I saw plenty of ads, and I got roped into buying this thing because I'm weak. My flesh is weak. Throw that back there. All right, the sleeves was getting in the way of my my playing style here, which is just trying to hit the strings the best I can. So I think there's definitely some boinginess in the reverb. I'm not really quite sure what else you'd want other than that. I'm going to go ahead and save this here. Did I turn that off? Oh, I turned off spillover. Sorry. This is just the amp now. Let me go back here. Let's turn up the reverb a little bit more. All right, you can also turn up the intensity and the speed of the tremolo, which is nice. I do have a separate harmonic trim pulled up in the rig, but now, mind you, all this is going through, this is the XLR output of the TMP into my Yamaha TF5 mixing board. So you're just hearing it direct to front of house, essentially, through the stream. Now I could, I can't do it right this second, but I can show eventually through my FR cab, which is the Fender FR12. Maybe that gives you some extra thump, possibly. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, let's see. Okay. So like when I mute the strings with my hand and just do a percussive hit. Yeah, so you definitely get a boinginess going on. And you're always going to get that little thump just because you're hitting right over the pickup. But there's your thump right there. Okay, let's turn down the intensity here on the vibrato. Let's turn up the reverb even more. Okay. All right, let's go over to a deluxe model then, just to see what happens. So we will save this and call it Never Not Whammy Deluxe Verb. Okay. So add block, go here. We're going to go the full combo amp. And we'll do the deluxe reverb. Okay, so. All right, let's go to our preset settings. I always want to put it at 100%. And then I can go to the amp and also make that 100%. So it's the loudest it can be. I said 97. Come on, I said 100, man. I mean, the thump you're hearing is just me hitting right over the pickup. I mean, so I just changed keys. I think that's all you're going to get out of it right there. Okay, I think it's going to be a little too loud. Let me turn this down here. I tell you what, I have a few other Kiesels with a Goto trim, and this thing, I mean, Goto is just, it feels really nice. I'm definitely getting a lot of volume here. Let me turn this down. I was boosting the preamp there a little bit and hitting the red. I don't want to do that. Okay, let's get back to the guitar here for a second. There we go. Now, when I first took this out of the bag, it was a little stiff feeling. It really was. The edge of the frets feel pretty good. They're not Kiesel quality, but you're also not paying Kiesel prices, so there's that. But this is a $1,200 guitar made in Indonesia. So let me know how you feel about paying that much money for an Indonesian-made instrument. Though, with that said, PRS has many of their models made in Indonesia. And, you know, you're paying at least $800, somewhere in there. I'd have to look it up, but let's see if I can find where or which PRS models are made in Indonesia. Never Not Whammy. Thanks, man. Appreciate for the super chat. I appreciate that. Do you have my TMP presets? Or do you have access to those? Let me know. All right, let's do a little Google search. So, which PRS models are made in Indonesia? I think I spelled that right. All PRS SE electric guitars, including models like the SE Custom 22, Semi-Hollow, SE Silver Sky, and SE Zach Myers, are made in a dedicated factory in Indonesia, while the S2 series and core models are made in the United States. The SE line is exclusively manufactured in Indonesia, according to PRS Guitars and PRS Guitars. Sometimes AI overview is just weird to read. The pros of a PRS CE24, highly versatile with different genres, excellent value and good playability according to this YouTube video. And then cons, lower tier components like non-locking tuners and a poly finish compared to a USA version. So I'm not sure what kind of finish this is. I mean, it's definitely a gloss finish. I don't really care if it's poly or not. But it does come with the locking tuners there. I still like this neck joint here. It feels really good. You don't feel like you're butting into like a really hard angle like you do on the Fenders and whatnot. And even my my Reverend guitars, which still brand new, they range in that $1,100 to $1,200 area. Let's do this here. Let's go to. I really need to cut down on my my scenes. I got too many scenes. Why is that so weird? Okay, let's do this. I want to make this bigger. How do I make it bigger? That's not what I want. Anyway, let's go to Zounds.com and let's look at. This should be a lot bigger. It really should. Aspect ratio. Let's try that. Let's try that. Let's try. I don't even know. Let's look at Yamaha Pacifica Standard Plus. Okay, so they are $1,200. And I felt that was a pretty good price for what you got. There is also Shell White, which was very tempting, but I just really wanted to go with the Ash Pink. There's also a Sparkle Blue, and I don't hate that either. Anything sparkle is fun, but I already have a blue guitar, and I like the pink. So what we got here is we do have stainless steel frets. So rosewood fingerboard with medium stainless steel frets. So they're not medium jumbo, that's for sure. They are just regular medium. I do have medium jumbos on my Kiesels, and those feel really nice. These work. I just kind of felt a little scratchiness when I first took it out of the box, but it seems to have smoothed out since yesterday. I'm not quite sure what the nut width is. It feels comfortable. It's definitely not a thick neck at all. I'm not really sure what the threshold is for calling it like a slim taper versus like a thicker neck. This just feels like a normal Fender style to me. I mean, give or take a millimeter here or there of thickness. One way or the other, so it's not a big deal. But yeah. Let's see. I think I tried before. I got a few on the website and not on the Pro Control app. Like years ago. Yeah, maybe so. Everything on my website is just a direct download. The blue is a open box. So that's why it's cheaper. If you do the regular Sparkle Blue, then that's the same price as the other ones. So yeah, if you want to get an open box, then that's a good deal. But for me, I don't want to buy any more guitars unless I have stainless steel frets, because I just don't want to. I don't want to keep putting money into a guitar for fret dresses, then eventually fret, a total refret, which can be a few $100s. And after a fret dress, which can cost you $100, and then after you do that a few times, you spend another $300 to $400 on a fret, on a refret, then you've already put in almost half the value of the guitar just by working on the frets, which is ridiculous. So I would rather, um, I would rather just pay for a guitar once and never have to work on it again, other than just my own normal string change and intonation and stuff like that. So, never not whammy. If you can send me an email via my website, I will hook you up with the Tonemaster Pro presets. Since you gave me that super chat, so I appreciate it. All right, now this feels pretty good. The strings are definitely working themselves in. It definitely took a day or two for the Rev Star to break in a little bit. It wasn't perfect right out of the box like most of my Kiesels are. It's also a good thing about using a mixing board and the microphone right here is I can just reach over, hit mute, and then I can cough to my little heart's content, which is great. Any other questions here? I could actually be asking or answering questions while I do this, but I am going to go ahead and change the strings on this just to see how easy it is to do it. And since we already have, let me get this view rearranged here. Since we already have the Godot trim balanced how we want, I may do a slight adjustment on the height of the strings, even though they feel pretty good. I might do that later. But yeah, let's go ahead and change the strings on this. My preferred strings of choice is the webstrings.com Memphis Electric. And these are just the 10 to 46. I've ordered Stringjoy strings. I've used GHS, Ernie balls. I've used them all over the years. But when you order from webstrings.com and you order in bulk, it has to be 24 sets or more. You get each pack for like $2 and something cents, which is insane. So I'd rather just spend like $80 once and then have strings for literally the next maybe 4 to 5 years. Because I really don't change strings all that often. And these last just as long and feel just as good to me as any other string. So you can check those out. All right, so what we're going to do, these are grouped in 6 and 3, 2 and 5, or 5 and 2, and 4 and 1. So I will go ahead and take off the 6th string here. So this is pretty easy. So typically, all you have to do is just you have to loosen the string a little bit, and then I really need my my string winder. Where's my string winder at? I think it's in the living room in front of the couch because I was doing something the other day. So that's a pretty loose string right there. So now all we have to do on the back is take that lock and just loosen it, and now you just pull the string right out. Okay. So if you're a guitar tech on the road, which I know all you guys are, that's really as simple as it needs to be. These are technically still good strings, so I will store that right over there. And then for this one, these do have a little extra slack. You can see the core of the string right there. So what I'm going to do is now find that groove and just poke it right through. It'd probably be more helpful if I had more light on me. But that was pretty simple. And then I'm just going to line up that hole. And having this this microphone on my head definitely is a lot easier communicating. Otherwise, I don't know how I would do this and still have you guys hear me. So now at this point, I do not have to wind the string around the post. Okay, all I have to do is just give it like a little slack and then tighten it down in the back and then start turning. Okay, pretty easy stuff. And it might make it around once. It might make it around not even once. That's pretty good right there. I am going to plug this back in and then make sure I tune as I go to make sure the Goto trim stays in the same floating position and not get all out of whack. That is the issue that I've had in a lesson learned for sure over the years, is do not take all the strings off unless you just really want to clean everything down really good. And even then you might want to find a block or something that you can put down in between the block and the body to keep it in place. So that way you don't lose your position. Because when you take off all the strings, you will totally reset like the balance of the springs and all that stuff. And it takes a while for you to get the string tension back to where it needs to be, to where you can just get it back in position where you want it. So now I'm going to do string 3, which is down here. So go ahead and loosen it. Okay, and that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen the lock on the back, and that string just comes right out, which is great. Then you just pull it out the back. I may edit this down and make it like a YouTube short or something for all you people out there. But we got this one. And I know it's the right hole because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel here. Actually, do I know it's the right hole? There we go. There we go. I got it now. More light is very important. Yeah, go ahead and ask me questions while I'm doing this. I'm all open to talk and do stuff at the same time. I will add a different homepage to my website probably through the end of the year. Just so anybody who comes to the site, if you have already purchased a previous product over on podia.com, then you will have, you just need to regain access to that. And I will give you a coupon code, and then you can re-sign up through the new website, and you'll have your access back as normal. I did recently do a headrush tone sculpting rigs or HDS rigs live stream, and I did that on the MX5, so I need to download that one or grab that file from the device and then load it to the computer, load it up to the new website, and we should be good on that one. All right, I'm going to go a lot faster on this one now. So if I was a real guitar tech, I'd probably lose my job at this point, because like, Nathan, I need my guitar, man. Change that string. It's like, oh, sorry, I'm over here talking to my friends on the interwebs. But typically, if you're focused, you can restring something on this pretty fast. Not too bad. And now, when I edit this down for like a short or something, I'll definitely speed it up. But, like, look how fast you can change strings on a Yamaha Pacifica. Like, oh man, he's lightning fast. He is so fast. I'm liking this ash pink. It's really nice. Really pretty. It's gonna look really good with a black tuxedo when I play for all those wedding gigs that I don't have any, I never get hired for, right? So pull that through, not too tight, just enough to get through the hole, and then start tightening it up. And typically when I'm just doing this on a normal guitar or any other guitar, I'll put the strings on just enough to where I can hear a pitch and then stop until I get all of them on, especially on like an acoustic guitar. And then I'll start tuning each one up one by one. and getting it in pitch. I am getting a little hungry. So what's for dinner tonight, folks? What is for dinner? Now we're going to need to do number 2. We'll stop about there. Loosen it up. Pull it out. Back through the hole. I have seen a few videos over the years of people taking guitar strings and then making like artsy fartsy stuff out of them. I might try to learn something and then do it with my kids or something. I don't know, but let's see. There we go. Do I got it? Yeah, I do. It's hard to see if you don't have good light. Yeah, so far Toemaster Pro is knocking my socks off. I've had it for about a year, and it's really, really good. But with that said, I'm liking the sounds I'm getting with the headrush as well. The amps and the revolver amps, the effects, they're all sounding good. I would like the headrush to give us more of the modulated reverb type stuff, like the Cloud Verb and other things that Toemaster Pro has, that Fractal has, that Kemper has excellent reverbs. And I just really wish that headrush would give us something more along those lines. They've given us the ambiverb. We have the shimmer effect, and what else? What is that called? The party verb, which is really meant based off of the particle verb. We're gonna do number 4 now. But all the shimmery type stuff is just too high end. It's not washed out enough. It's not ambient enough for me compared to what I'm used to on other units. So other than that, I think the headrush is a pretty perfect unit. And there are more things coming. Let me tell you, there are more things coming on the headrush. All right, down to the bottom 2 strings, or the last 2 strings. So this is on number 4. Yeah, the beveled block is interesting, but it's working. There we go. Get that poke through there. Now, at the end of all this, these strings probably won't feel any different than what I already had on the guitar, but I just wanted to double check. Because it did take it a second for it to break in, and I just wonder if a different set of strings would make it feel any better. But so far, I mean, I don't think I've been doing this too long. Maybe less than 10 minutes. So, that doesn't count stretching the strings and all that stuff. Checking intonation, which I won't do today, but okay. See, every time you take off a string, the other strings get a little out of whack because you change the tension on the springs on the back of the guitar. So you always need to retune. Which is why when you break a string on an electric guitar, especially something with a floating bridge or some kind of movable bridge, your whole guitar will just go out of tune because you've now just reset the balance and the tension of what you had before. So you definitely wouldn't expect to just keep, like, I wouldn't expect to finish out a song if I was on a playing, like maybe like halfway through a song and then I broke a string. It's just not something that you can really do. But that's why you have a guitar tech waiting in the wings to hand you a new guitar that's already tuned up and ready to go. And if you're like Stevie Ray Vaughan, I can't see here. He was able to literally stop playing for like maybe 10 seconds, maybe less. And then just without missing a beat, just go right back into playing and all that stuff. So pretty cool to know your instrument so well and to be so comfortable and at one with your instrument that if something does go wrong, you can pretty much fix it almost instantly, which is very admirable. Joseph Garcia, what's up? Having chili tonight. That sounds great. I would love to have chili. Usually every year at church we have a chili cook-off at the Harvest Festival because we can't call it Halloween because, Jesus don't like Halloween. But I don't care. But chili is really good. I like chili pretty much any time of year, but especially when it's cold outside and you make some cornbread, some sweet cornbread. Yeah, I can down me some chili for sure. Let's go back through and let's retune the guitar. I might take it a time or two because really we are rebalancing this floating trim right here, which is actually higher than it was before. So it makes me think that maybe those other strings were maybe 9s instead of 10s, possibly. Very possibly. And I do like my trim usually sitting parallel with the body, so I might have to adjust the springs a little bit. And every time you go back through the strings, it will be flat, but you'll just have to, but it won't be as much. So this time I'm tuning it back up. And then the next time around, it won't be as bad. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer to the tension that it wants to be at. Getting closer. Getting even closer now. And this is what I teach all what I tell all my students. It's like tuning a guitar is not hard, but you definitely need to practice. Just like you practice your chords, you practice your scales. You need to develop your ear and develop the sense of like how much you need to turn the knob to get to the pitch. And I've been playing for 30 years. So I've had 30 years of experience breaking strings, restringing it, setting intonation, all the stuff. So it's just what it comes down to. I do have a anatomy of music course on my website. It goes through, that's really high now. It goes through every single chord scale, drop two voicings, like just whatever. So if you're interested in music theory and you want to take lessons from the doctor, then you can sign up for my Anatomy of Music course on the website, and you can dive right into all the things I've been teaching for the better half of probably about 20 years. Been teaching for a long time, teaching adults, teaching kids. I just added a banjo student to my lineup on Monday. A little kid, and he's really excited and ready to go. And so yeah, you got all these things to deal with. You got the crazy hair guitar. Whatever. And there's nothing bad about in-person lessons. I mean, sometimes it's great, but if you're just like the guy that you just like learning online, then maybe it's a good option for you. Okay, I think after I adjust the springs on the back, it'll be a little bit better. I think right now they're not tight enough, and it's making the bridge stick up from the body. You see that it's even more than it was before. Before it was definitely more even or more parallel with the body. But you should be able to pull back a certain amount and then give the little dive bomb action. So with all that said, I'm going to tune one more time, and then we should be good. It's 5:11 right now, but I wish the tuner would show on the ToneMaster Pro or the tone control app so you can see what I'm seeing, but it's fine. All right, so Joseph, these are Rupert Neve designed pickups. So Yamaha, what did this say? It developed with Rupert Neve, which obviously he's not alive anymore, but with the company. And to me, that just sounded like a good all-around single coil pickup. They kind of give you that noiseless kind of feel. I mean, it's not any noisier than what I would hear like on another pickup, but. And then we got this. Okay, so let's go and let's go back to my ToneMaster Pro here. And TMP scene. Okay, so let's bypass this one, and now let's bring in another amp, just a different amp. Let's go with half stacks on this one, and let's bring in the I really like the 5150 stuff. Let's do the blue channel. This is pretty good. Yeah. So it gets dirty enough for what you need. I'm going to take the lows down. I'm going to take the gain down a bit. Turn up that. Turn up the amp level. Yeah. Turn up the highs. Cool. And then what you can do, you can go to your foot switches. You can say on. And then I also want these to be in a switch link. Then go to here, off, go to there, make this a switch link A. And then you can go from one to the next. And then I'm also going to add a reverb. Maybe like a large room. And we'll bring the mix way down, bring the decay down. Okay, something like that. Okay, so that reverb will stay on, but then I can switch between both amps just by hitting each individual foot switch. And the switch link, what it does is it toggles between any number of items that you have assigned to that certain switch link. So you got switch link A, B, C, or D, and you can get different combinations of pedals on and off by assigning those to whatever switch link you got. Okay, cool. So I'm going to bring down the volume of this a bit. Like so. I didn't know reverbs had separate IR. Yes, they do. Because what you can do is you can go to add block, and you can do combo amps, which already have 2 in there, which is not great. But yeah, you can just go in and choose amp only, and it will give you the amp minus the reverb and a tremolo if it has tremolo on there. So. All right, so now at this point, I will have to go through the painstaking process. It's not that bad, but I was trying to avoid this, but I will now need to loosen the strings, tighten the springs in the back to where the trim is almost sitting on the body, and then when I tighten the strings back up, it should be back to where it was. But let me go ahead and see if I can do this within like not too much time. Joseph's got to go eat dinner. Enjoy the chili. Joseph, I'm not jealous at all. Okay, a scene. Okay, so let's explain this here. A scene on any other mauler, any mauler at all, is basically just a preset within a preset. Okay, so you have your main preset where you've added all the elements that you want, whether that's modulation, dirt, amps, cabs, modulation effects, delay, reverb, whatever it is, right? And pretty much always, there's really no exception to this. Once you've added something to your preset, you can't change the block within the preset just by going to a different scene. Okay, so that's why I say it's a preset within a preset. But what you can do is you can change the parameters of those blocks or those effects or those amps, and then get different settings. So on scene 1, you could have the amp just be on clean, and then on scene 2, you can take the same amp and crank it up and make it louder, and you can turn down the volume so it compensates, so it level matches back and forth, right? And you can also do the same thing with your dirt boxes or your delays and reverbs or whatever else, right? You can have a slow tremolo, you can have a fast tremolo just by changing the scene. You can have a slow rotary speaker or a fast rotary speaker just by changing the scene. So that's what scenes do, and they were really popularized by the Helix, which gave you snapshots. So that's the little terminology difference there. a snapshot on a Helix is a scene, but they just don't call them scenes. They call them snapshots because they're allowing you to take a preset and saying, okay, I want to take a snapshot of these settings, and then go to another snapshot and now store those settings, and then you can go back and forth between the two snapshots, and you got totally different parameter changes between the two. Okay, so stuff like that. I'm going to loosen these up a little bit more here. So that's what a scene is. Now, what a switch link, this is really not done on any other unit. I think Fractal has something similar, but it's definitely not called switch link. And I think it's called like some kind of bypass mode of some sort. But anyway, a switch link is literally just saying just what I did here on the Towmaster Pro. Okay, let me go back into here. I don't want to add anything. So on my foot switches sign, if I go from Deluxe Reverb over to 5150 Blue, see how it switched over and it automatically turned off this one? Okay, so now let's do a little bit more. Let's go add 2 different drives here. Let's do the Blues Maker. We'll go ahead and bypass that. Actually, do I want to do that? No, I just want to do this. Then I'll add one more. I'll do the Enchanter for fun. Okay, so we got 2 different drive. You can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. There we go. Okay, 2 different scenes or 2 different drive blocks here. So now if I want to add those to a switch, I can go on off, choose the block or choose the effect, and go down to switch link and choose switch link B because I've already assigned switch link A to be my my amplifiers. So now it's going to be switch link B. And then go to here, on off, Blues Maker, go down to switch link B. And now if I have the Blues Maker on and I hit the same switch, it's going to turn it off. Okay? If I go to the Enchanter and turn that on and hit the same switch, it's going to turn it off. So you're just doing 1 for 1, right? But now if I have the Enchanter on and I go straight to the Blues Maker, it's going to turn off the Enchanter and now turn on the Blues Maker. And then go back to the Enchanter. Then go back to the Blues Maker. All right, so now you're literally just toggling back and forth between the 2 drives. And then at any point, if you want to turn the one that's currently on off, you just hit that switch again. Okay? You can do the same thing for, let's do 2 different delays now. Okay, so effects, delay. I want a nice and short slapback analog delay. And I'm going to bring the mix down, maybe bring the feedback down, bring the time down, something like that. Okay, let's go to another one. We're going to add, I can't add any more things. So this is the issue with adding full combo or stacks is you've taken up all the DSP because the amp uses a lot of DSP for the convolution reverb and the stuff in there. So I'll just do this between the reverb and the delay, just for example. Okay, so let's assign these. So here's the reverb on. We'll assign this to switch link C. If you go back through my Towmaster Pro playlist on YouTube, you will see that I had that issue very early on. Then I released a video on what I did to fix it. But yeah, now we're on switch link C, and you can see that I'm now toggling between the reverb and the delay. Or you can make them 2 different reverbs, or you can make them 2 different delays, or you can have 4 delays, or 4 overdrives, or 4 different amps, or whatever you want. Okay. And most of the, pretty much all the rigs that I've made or shown in what am I trying to say here? That I've shown in the video is downloadable on the website. So, all right, I need to loosen What do I need to do here? I actually need to tighten these springs. And I need a bigger screwdriver. Okay, I'm not going to do this right this second because I need the right tool for the job. Actually, does this have it? Yes, it does. Okay, I can use this one right here. Okay. Hey, I fixed it, man. I fixed it. I fixed that screen share. It's all good. All right, I'm going to fix this real fast. I'm going to tighten. Tighten these springs. So hopefully it's not going to be as it's not going to raise up on me as much. If I can get in there. Come on now. Okay, let's try that. And that's going to be closer to the body. So now when I tune it back up, I need the tuner on. I can't make it to where it doesn't mute the instrument. So, actually, what's happening? Okay, there we go. The sweet sounds of tuning a guitar. I know is everyone's favorite here. Okay, that's a little bit better. I think it's back to where I had it before, so that's good. I'm going to tune this up one more time. Or a few more times. Yeah, it's getting there. So basically just had to tighten the springs a little bit. That got me back in the range that I needed for the tension. Yep, we're still good. Now I'm barely having to turn this to get it back in position there. Yeah, so scenes versus switch link. And that's really what makes the Toemaster Pro special. Is it's taken a lot of the elements that other modelers have introduced over the years and just making a huge amalgamation of like all the best of the fractal, of the head rush, of the helix, of the quad cortex. Quad cortex, you can actually turn the knob on their units, and the Toemaster Pro does the same thing. You just you choose the device. Let me go back up here. You're not going to be able to see this, but maybe not. But I have now selected my amp. So now if I go into my amplifier here and I turn up the volume, I'm now controlling the volume of the amp with the actual foot switch on the device. You can do the same thing for the treble, the bass, the reverb, all the stuff. So that makes it really cool. That makes it really cool. Okay, I feel like these strings are definitely 10s. Maybe the strings that were on before were 9s. And I also feel like that the action is a little bit higher than it was. So we'll have to adjust that for sure, but it'll be fine. I like my string sitting about 3/32 off the fretboard. And so I'll get that dialed in for sure. I'll get these extra strings cut off. But so far, I'm liking the pink. It's a very cool guitar. So we talked about guitars today. We talked about some Toemaster Pro stuff. If you own a product from my website and you're not signed up through the new website yet, then just and you didn't get the email that I sent out, then make sure to contact me via the website, and I'll be sure to give you a coupon code so you can get that transition fixed on your end, and then we can move on and all that stuff. So okay, that demonstrates the switch link clearly. Thanks. I guess you could do all those through a scene too. Yes, you can do that through a scene. So you can basically what happened is they released Switch Link first, but it wasn't quite the same as scene. So then they realized the issue at hand, because everybody was revolting with pitchforks and crosses burning, and like, we're gonna get you if you don't give us scenes. And they're like, okay, fine, we're gonna give you scenes. Which is good, because, I mean, every modeler at this point has some form of scenes. And at first, Switch Link was a cool addition, but it doesn't totally replace what scenes do. And so now, what you can see here is, with a scene, we first need to go in and tell it we want to make it a scene, right? So now we have two scenes here. And yes, I'm going to go back and show my screen so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I've made these two foot switches a scene now, just by once again clicking on it and clicking on scene instead of on and off or whatever else. And now, what happened? Oh, I didn't save the preset, so it got rid of everything. But that's fine. I'll show you what we can do here. So typically what I do is I'll add the amp head. Well, I'll just do a combo amp. It doesn't really matter. But you can do amp only. So it doesn't give you the reverb and the tremolo. Just literally just gives you the amp. But what you can do, see how we have scene edit right here? I have a whole video on this, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So this will be the bass preset. Okay. And then if I want to go, say, I want to make this scene 1. So the bass preset is your bare bones, whatever you want the bass preset to be, okay? But then from there, on the very first scene, you can now say, okay, I now from the bass preset, I want to change this volume to be like on 7, and my treble to be down a little bit, and my bass to be up, right? Then you can save that again. Now there's your other scene. Then I can go to my next scene and say I want to crank it all the way up and go treble really high and the bass really low, because it's going to sound horrible. Okay, and now when you go from different scenes, you go back to your bass and see how the knobs changed. You go to your first scene, the knobs changed again. Then your last scene, the knobs changed again. Okay, so now not only can you do switch link, but now you can change on and off states and change the parameters of those amps and pedals to your liking per scene. So if you want like a volume boost for like a solo on your solo scene, you can either raise the volume on the amp, you can bring in some kind of graphic EQ or a boost pedal after the amplifier, and just all the things. So if you're still wanting questions and you still want to see more examples of what is possible, once again, I have those kind of videos in my Toemaster Pro playlist on my website. Just go there and you can just binge watch all 30, almost 40 videos at this point on the Toemaster Pro. And also go to the website and check out the Toemaster Pro presets and all that stuff. So, all right, guys, I am going to go join my family for the night and see what's for dinner and go play with the kids and say howdy, and all that stuff. So yeah, you can't do a switch link within a scene, but scenes will replace what switch links do. But switch link kind of works outside of the scene. So even though you've changed something within the scene, you can still hit a switch link between two different drives or something and change it that way. So, all right, guys, I will be sure to subscribe down below. Click the bell for future notifications. Check the links in the description for affiliate links to Amazon, Sweetwater, or Zounds. If you are shopping online anyways, and you are going to go ahead and buy something anyways, I'm not forcing you to spend money. Don't do that. Don't go into debt, or don't spend money you don't have just because you want to support me. But if you were going to go buy something anyways on those 3 websites, Amazon, Sweetwater, or Zounds, then click to my link, purchase where you're going to buy anyways, and then I'll get a little bit of a kickback from that. Just a small commission for my time here on YouTube, teaching and inspiring the next generation of rock stars or something like that. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I will be back in a new video definitely this week. I got a few more things I need to make videos on. And I am updating the products on my website as well for the headrush stuff and my anatomy and music course. And I'll have another volume of presets ready to go for the Tonemaster Pro. So thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking.